the ODM party to be specifically the race flag,
Yes.
but there appears to be some sense of the flip-floppiness about how it managed to come up with 1.2 million signatures of the 1.4 raised by Dr. Ukuru Okoth's Third Alliance Party. But coming to you, Andrew, it's about the media aspect here.
Yes.
And I just recall Robert Murdoch in the UK and, of course, the developments, the accusations by the Labour Party's party leader, Jeremy Corbyn, on the lack of balance from the BBC in the build-up to the referendum in 2016. Given that and what we have on the front page of the Daily Nation here, is it perhaps a story that leads to the media gatekeeping element of from actually the pool of other Kenyans who can serve competently in any given state position, whether it's the presidency, the deputy presidency, or as a cabinet minister? And is this perhaps a pointer to the essence of hypocrisy? Because the ruling Jubilee Party also did a pledge to end ethnic balkanization during the formation of the party on the 10th day of September 2016, but ended up, you look at the state appointments, it's equally not a reflection of what they have pledged. Is it a case of double standardness? And to the media, is all this frenzy about the political economy of the media preserving certain interest of certain individuals?
Well, I think when you look at the front page of this article, how the race is hotting up again, it's always hotting up. We seem to have now forgotten that there's a Building Bridges initiative that may, in fact, change the entire infrastructure of government, so that we have a ceremonial president, we have a prime minister. So which race is hotting up now? Is it a race for a prime minister? Is it a race for a parliamentary system? Is it a race for the existing constitutional setup? You see, and in this case, the Daily Nation has just, for a Monday, it's selling newspapers and advertising. It's very important to do so. But even when you look at the Standard, and I think it's important, these are newspapers of record. Now, newspapers of record occupy a very important legal status in a country. If you're selling insurance policies, offshore insurance policies, and the like, a death notice in a newspaper of record is your initial proof that you will then provide to the insurance company, to the investment house, to a bank, as you begin to process your clients' claims to get them paid their money. Newspapers of record. The Standard, on its front page, talks about why they burned my son.
According to Ken Okoth's mother.
Yeah, and Sonko's going to shame VIPs about secret love affairs. So essentially, I mean, who doesn't love the Nairobian on Fridays?
Can get the Standard for today.
But the Monday Standard, a newspaper of record, has tabloid. This is a tabloid paper now. Burning my son, revealing VIPs' love affairs. But to show you why a newspaper of record has an important point. You may remember the obituary notice for Jimmy Wanjigi.
Jimmy Wanjigi.
The fallacious one that was put into the Nation.
The obituary collar.
That's right. A tombstone. He's dead. Okay, and why that was so dangerous to have that. See, because it starts to trigger. That sort of notice in a newspaper of record can start to trigger a lot of procedures and processes that go about freezing your accounts, lawyers running around. And so it wasn't just damaging to the family's emotional psyche, or psyche, but it could have legal repercussions that are difficult to work out. But today, we have a race that's hotting up, but we don't know what race is going to be, because there may be referendum.
But it won't fall far from this, Andrew. I mean,
even
clearly,
in the event of a referendum.
Whether it's a referendum, whether it's what, it's probably going to fall within this particular margin.
Well,
and
we don't know.
Whether it's a referendum or it's a president.
Has Mukisia
Kitui,
has he
declared
any interest? He's up at UNCTAD.
This is based on what the people feel.
Media,
this is based on what the people feel, the regional, based on the
neither
kind
did
of support
Gideon
that
Moi
these people
express
enjoy.
hope for interest for the presidency.
This is the media.
This is, well,
And that's why I termed it hogwash.
If you're very keen on what is happening on social media, if you're very keen on what Kenyans are talking, because you go on Twitter, you realize that that's where you get the voices of very many Kenyans. You know, I know there are of course bloggers who come along with these hashtags and all that, but equally there's high response coming from the Kenyans, and I'm telling you.
And the columns
Twitter,
I feel in
probably not as
Twitter,
active.
the role I feel in WhatsApp or in Facebook. Actually, if anything, Kenyans want a revolution.
Yeah.
Kenyans are tired of these faces. If you really are doing genuine...
Kenyans are, but unfortunately, it's not always the case, like you said.
And, well, because of the forces, because who owns these media houses in the first place? And as you mentioned, there are a lot of dynamics if you're going to talk about 2022.
Right.
First of all, when you have a referendum, you can study the British exit referendum.
Right.
And to date, actually, it has costed 2 prime ministers their positions. That referendum alone.
David Cameron and Theresa May.
As things goes, when I saw how
Boris Johnson.
Boris, yeah.
my friend visited Scotland and he had to leave through back doors. It might even cost them the 3rd prime minister, even plus the party. You understand? So when people are taunting or rejoicing with the referendum,
we're not comparing
which
us
is,
to that mature democracy.
That is the mentality that we have to get out of.
Yeah.
The Kenyan voters, actually, if you look at the Kenyan voters, they are more informed to date. Look at them when they're engaging Nigeria on social media. Look at them when they're engaging Trump on social media.
I think we were having that conversation.
We're having that discussion
morning,
here.
Yes, in the morning, and we said, indeed, it's pretty hard to say that you can actually alter the thinking of the Kenyan voter today.
This was possible 5 years back. But now as we go forward, look at the majority of the voters. You realize that probably around 68 to 78% are below 35. And these individuals actually are not informed by ethnic background. They are not tribalists. These guys are issue-oriented. And as time goes, because the previous generation were very easy to hoodwink along the tribal alignment, these individuals will make conscious choices because even their families, if you follow them very well, you realize probably their family is made up of all those tribes that they cannot choose from whichever tribe.
This is not what